try to give a couple of people an opportunity to come into the video. Today, I just wanted to open up for questions and answers, because a lot of times when I do videos, I never really read the comments or, nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? But today, I just wanted to drop this video for anybody that logs on to this video. You can ask me any question pertaining to commerce, pertaining to anything dealing with the legal person, the account, the UCC, or anything that you have a question concerning something that you might not be keen on, or you need more clarity and you need somebody to break it down to you to where you feel like you have the proper understanding. That way you may be able to pursue your remedy. If you have any questions, anybody have any questions, feel free to ask the questions now. You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm willing to share this information for free. All right. So anything that you want to know, whether it's pertaining to how to make payment, how to claim your credits from the bank, anything dealing with your dealing with how to take control of your estate, trust law, anything, you got questions about any concerns that you've been having trouble with, and you're trying to figure out, what's next or what steps you should be taking, you can ask that question now. This is an opportunity now for people to actually, learn what they need to learn. Like, why they got this stuff going on, whatever they trying to pull off, that still should knock each individual from doing their own due diligence and learning. Now, I can actually tell you that, you really do need to read your state codes. You really do need to read those statutes. Not to say that they absolutely apply to you, but when you read the statutes and you read the codes, it pretty much outlines the rules of the game. It kind of like lets you know what they're subject to, what their duties are in reference to a customer, a consumer, or anybody of that nature. So it's important that you understand those things in order for you to get the proper remedy. Like, if you don't read in your state statutes what they say about a trade name, right? Now, let's just say a trade name. All right, say you trading in this name that was given to you at birth, right? You have to understand, first and foremost, that the reason why you the creditor over the name, because the name that you used to do business with was extracted from your real name, your proper name, all right? So what they did is your mama gave you a proper name, and they extracted from your proper name and created another entity. You know how these people are. They're doing artificial intelligence right now. They trying to make robots that can emulate mankind. This is what they do. They're not God, but they're trying to be God. All right. So whenever you using the trade name, in order for you to know, the rules and the regulations pertaining to how you use your name in commerce, you gotta read. You gotta read the statutes. You gotta look in the code. You gotta look up the Registration and Trademark Act. They got a Registration and Trademark Act. You look it up and read it. If you read it, it'll break it all the way down to you what a trade name is. It'll tell you what a service mark is, and it'll tell you that they both must be registered. All right, with the Secretary of State. The reason why you want to do it with the Secretary of State, because the Secretary of State is the record keeper. People doing DBAs in Minnesota, and that's fine and dandy if that's the way you want to do your business, but that's a foreign registration to your state. You want the registration to be directly with your state. The reason why is because have you ever tried to do a UCC1 and you wanted to use the debitor as the entity, or the straw man name as the debtor, and then you use your true name or your proper name as the creditor, and you got refused, or they told you that both persons were the same? It's a reason why they did that to you. All right? It took for me to go through it to figure it out. I figured it out by talking on the phone to some of the agents and basically using common sense. But the name got to be registered first on the records with the Secretary of State, because when you do the UCC, one, with your state, you have to do the UCC with the Secretary of State office. So if the name is already registered on file, showing that you're doing business under a fictitious name as the same name as yours, and then you go and you do your UCC1, you're not gonna have no rejection because they already got a registered name showing that it's registered, showing the separation of both parties. So when you actually file the UCC, it's no discrepancies. See, but it's a lot of misinformation being taught out here. It's a lot of people. What do I think about the administrative process? Well, I think that the administrative process is definitely necessary when you're trying to perfect the claim. In order to perfect that claim, you must do an administrative process. But there are other ways of doing things without actually doing that administrative process. And I can actually tell you this. It's like, all right, let me say this. You're doing accord and satisfaction, and you send in a money order for full satisfaction of a claim to a creditor. All right, they cash the money order, and then they send you back a bill like you never made full satisfaction when they cashed in the check. All right. Most people don't handle that correctly. You have to continue to apply what you're doing to the contract. So when they write you back and they send you a payment order and they never apply payment to your account or credit the account, then your conditional acceptance is the enforcement of the accord and satisfaction. It's just like when you go to court and you put paperwork into the court record, and then when you go into the court, the judge trying to talk about everything but the contract. He talking about everything but your paperwork. Everything, because remember, the paperwork is the contract. And that's what they trying to hide from you. All right. Whenever you send these people paperwork, got you assent to it, or basically you give your signature, you what they call authenticate the document by signing it, and you send it in. When you give your signature, that is the authority there. So, yeah, excuse me, some people trying to call me while I'm doing the video. But yeah. But when you send in a document to them and you give your signature, authority, giving the authority on the document saying that the order or the commission, because what they're not telling you is you are a commissioner. We are all commissioners. What do you mean commission? You have the power to dictate. You have the power to control. You have the power to determine for yourself your best interest. They don't want you to know that. Trust me. They don't want you to know that you are the owner of every contract that you got. You are the owner. You're not a debitor. You're only a debitor if you perform like one. If you perform like a debitor, then your performance, the way you conduct yourself, will put you in a position to where they will deal with you on that level. Now, if you're a creditor, I can tell you right now, don't let nobody tell you they're a creditor, then they turn around and tell you need to be discharging your debt. A creditor don't have to discharge debt. A creditor don't have to do none of that, because a creditor gives credit and a creditor collects debts. A creditor gives credit and a creditor collects debts. All right, now let me explain why I said that. All right, if I go call up Ameren and I say, yeah, I give them name and all the stuff that they need. I said, I want services at 4425, whatever. We go through all the process and stuff. All right, they say, okay, well, you got services and blah, blah, this and that. Sometimes they'll make you pay a little fee, a little security fee or whatever. But once you get the services and you get there's no more obligations due on the contract, because they just approved you for credit. All right, so that means that once you got off the phone with Ameren, there was no more obligations due on the contract. All right, so what they do is to get you into the contract, because you are the owner of the contract, right? So what's happening is everybody is saying that these people sending the straw man debts to me. I'm not the straw man. Oh, this is fraud. This ain't right. They keep on sending all these bills to me in all capital name, and that ain't my name. And you sending all this stuff back to them, talking about validate the debt and all this stuff. You're not supposed to be doing that. You're not supposed to be doing that. You are the owner of the contract. When they send the goods to you, you're supposed to accept the goods. The goods is the debt. The debt equals money. Debt is money. The money is coming to the creditor in the name of the principal. You collect the debt. You collect the debt because debt equals money. Once you collect his debts, you can resell them. You can resell them because debt equals money, and money is a medium of exchange. So if you collect the straw man's debts, you can exchange them in exchange for obligations. But first, you have to invoke your position on the contract as the owner. Once you do that with the companies and you let them know who you are, of course, it's a certain way you have to, well, it really ain't no certain way. It's all about expression. It ain't no right or wrong way to do it because every man and woman is different in the way that they express themselves when they're doing business. So don't let nobody make you feel like it's just one remedy or it's only one way. Well, how you do it, it's according to your own level of competency. But what I'm telling you, the key to everything is for you to know who you are. Once you realize that you are the creditor, when you are the creditor, you claim your position as creditor. And when you become, and when you invoke your position as creditor, now you can collect. Now you can let them know that you'll be collecting all the debts that's due on the account in the name of your principal as the creditor, as agent, right? And you'll tell them that you'll be sending back the goods on the contract for resale. So what you do is you collect the goods. The good is the debts. All right, that's why all the debts come to you, because you are the owner of the contract, because you the one that said, hey, I want services. I want phone services. I want internet. I want this. So I'm gonna call these people. So you the contractor. You jumped in bed with them so that you created a contract because you needed services. So when you created the contract, you are the owner. So they send all the bills in the name of the principal to the owner of the contract so that you can inspect and look at everything that's due on the contract, and then you can give your assent. Assent is approval. When you give assent, that means that you're giving your approval to the goods that's coming in on the contract. But you don't do it by just writing on the instrument. You give assent by writing them a statement. You send them a statement in the mail, and you write and you let them know who you are. You let them know that you have accepted the goods that are coming through on the contract in the name of such and such, such and such. And you basically let them know that you are the creditor over that person. If you need to, you can send credentials. You can send a DBA, you can send power of attorney, you can send anything that you feel that would give more validity to prove your standing as creditor. Once you do that and you let them know that you are the creditor, you let them know that now you will be collecting the debt. All right, as the creditor, you collect all the debts in the name of the principal. Once you collect the debts, you got to let them know how you want to do the business, though. When you collect the debts, you can't just collect the debts and hold them. You have to collect the debt with an obligation to do something with it as you collect them. So you can collect the debt and you can let them know that you're going to pledge the debts back to them for resale quarterly, monthly, or you can do it every 6 months, or you can do it yearly. But you can't go over a year because everything operates on GAAP. All companies have to operate under the general annual accounting principles. So all accounts must be satisfied within a year, meaning that all monies received on every account, who is the owner of all the funds that they receiving on the contract. So that's why it's important that when you collect the debts, you give instructions on how you want to do the business with the entities. You got to actually let them know how, when you collect, how you want to basically resell the debt back to them. All right, because when you acknowledge that you are the owner of the contract, that gives you the equity. All right, now as the owner of the contract, and they don't rebut your claim as being the owner, which we know they can't rebut that, right? So once they fail to rebut your claim as owner of the contract, and all the conditions that you put in your correspondence with them, letting them know that you're going to collect the debt for resale on a monthly basis, that you will be collecting the debt to resell it back to them on a monthly basis, and any extra proceeds or interest, or what they call overpayment, will be payable back to you on the same account. That's how you're supposed to be doing it. Now, of course, I know I got this in writing. You know that if I can tell you about it, I can show it to you in black and white, because that's what I do. A man must be what he know. So that's why you ain't hearing people say the things that you hear me say, because they ain't doing the type of studying that I'm doing. People telling you to discharge debts. People telling you're supposed to be doing all this other stuff, and I'm telling you're supposed to be invoking your position as a creditor. And as a creditor, you don't pay no damn debts. As a creditor, you collect debts and you resell them, because debt equals money, and money is a medium of exchange. I actually put this up for people to actually ask questions. So if you have a question, feel free to ask the question concerning anything that you might want to know, whether it's pertaining your name, whether it's pertaining what a debt is, what credit is, how to offset any debt against your bank account, because I can tell you that when you're trying to offset debt and discharge debt, when you do offset or discharge a debt, you're supposed to, you gotta, anytime you discharge something, you have to have something, that an instrument that you're basically using to discharge against. You can't just discharge a debt without having something of value that you can use to pledge the discharge against. It's the same. It's just like, all right, it's just like, let me give you an example. All right, say you get a bill and you pay the bill for your principal. Now you got a receipt showing evidence that you paid, right? All right, that receipt is not just evidence of payment being received when you paid the bill. It's also evidence of a credit, because every payment is a debit to somebody's account, and that debit on the other side of that account ledger has a credit, the equal amount of the debit or the payment. So when you get the receipt is the evidence of the unpaid portion of the payment that's due back to the one who made the payment to the account, because the account has two sides to it. So if you go to the bank and you put $500 in your account, on the other side of your account is a credit of $500 that's received by the bank. You debit 500 by putting 500 in, and then on the other side of the account ledger is a $500 credit that was received by the bank. So they have to give you something to show the transaction from them receiving payment, and also evidence of the unpaid portion of what they received from you. And that's why they give you a statement. The statement shows that you put 500 in, but it also shows that $500 was not given back to you as credit. So since they never gave back $500, the receipt is the credit. So what you do is you make up a payment order. You draw a draft against the receipt, and you send it to your bank certified mail for collections. You know, at the bottom where it says memo, where it says what the check is for, you take and you use the same check on your checking account. You don't have to create no negotiable instrument out of nowhere. You use your checkbook, and you get a regular check account. I mean, a regular blank check from your checkbook, and you would take a payment draft. I mean, a receipt, and you would draw a draft against the receipt. Listen to what I'm telling you. You draw a draft against the receipt, and when you at the bottom you say for collections. That's what you're sending it for, collection. You're collecting the unpaid balance or the unpaid portion of the payment, and you send it into your bank and watch what happens. How can you get a bank to release the bank credits, promissory notes? All right. The way you go about doing that is basically what I just told you. All right. I pretty much just went over that in a nutshell. All right, because in order for you to get the credits that's being held from the bank from you, you got to have evidence that there is an unpaid balance that's due back to you. The evidence of that unpaid balance is the statements. They have to give you the statement. That's why they send the statements to you. They send the statements to you because the statements is evidence of their indebtedness to you, because it shows that you gave them something and they never gave you nothing back. So you got to use the same statement that shows that you paid in order to claim the unpaid portion of the other side of the ledger of the account. You collect the credits on the same account. That, say for instance, if I put $500 into this account, I got to use that same account in order to collect the credits. The credits and debits are on the same account. They're not on different accounts. They're on the same account. If you debit, you credit. If you credit, you debit. So in order to collect the credit, you got to use the same damn account to collect. You can't go to a different account. It's the same account. You just basically send in a draft. You send in a statement. You take the statement. You write the amount that was deposited into the account, and you draw a draft against the statement, and you send it to the bank as a deposit. I mean, not as for collections. You say for collections or for reimbursement. It's the language that you use on the check that determines the way that you're basically negotiating the instrument. People say, well, if I got money in my account, are they gonna take the money out my account? No, because you're not asking for Federal Reserve notes. You're demanding that they release you credit. Federal Reserve notes is debt based. Credit is something totally different. Credit is not debt based. It's not interest based. What you should be reading to get an understanding of what I'm saying, it's not really just one thing that you would read. If I was just to sit here and say, well, read this, it wouldn't be sufficient, because you're not going to get all the information that you desire or that you need to learn from one book. And anybody that's trying to tell you that, they misguiding you. All right. Now you can start off. I can suggest to you a few books that you can read. Now, if you're just saying, are you talking about when you say, what should you read to get an understanding of what I'm talking about? Are you talking about commerce in general? Or are you just talking about dealing with debits, credits, unpaid portions, unpaid balances? Who asked me that? Let me see. Yeah, brother, you can get a one-on-one. Peace to the guy. How you doing? Leroy Robinson. That's who I'm talking to. Hey, Leroy, if you still on the live, man, you can ask me that. If you can answer that question for me, I can give you a more detailed answer that can probably give you better clarity to what you probably be looking for. Black Mon Bay. How you been doing, brother? How you be doing, man? I've been seeing you drop a lot of good information, man. You definitely a well-studied brother, man. I like that, man. I like to see brothers, man, out here teaching and trying to wake the people up and stuff like that. And that's exactly what I want to do, because I want people to understand that, you know what I'm saying, that it's important that we understand that we are the creditors of all the accounts that we do business on. All right. Well, we're not supposed to be trying to discharge debts, y'all. What we're supposed to be doing is claiming our position as the creditor over our own accounts. And then once we do that, we collect the debts in the name of our straw man, because we're the creditor. So the bills coming in, the debt coming in the name of the straw man. If I'm the creditor, I can collect that. I don't have to pay it if I'm the creditor. Anybody else got any more questions? Any questions? Because I really opened this live up just to answer questions anybody may have had, anything that they might want to know pertaining any information that I've shared or anything that I've already went through before. If it's anybody on here that has a question, I feel free to ask. Let's do that then, brother. I'm with that. I'm definitely with that all day, every day. Let's build an empire, man. Let's take this thing to the next level, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking for some good, strong men, man, that I can build with, that I can connect with, and we can basically, you know, build a foundation, profitable and lucrative foundation that we can all benefit and grow from, and anybody that becomes a part of that also will reap those same benefits and grow as well. That's definitely needed amongst our people, man, because we too busy shysting each other. Love to you too, brother Outback. Man, I'm constantly trying to do my best, man, to try to keep this information prevalent and trying to put things out there, right? Also, I want to give y'all something else, right? It's important that y'all understand too that whenever you're doing business with these because we the contractor, they're the what they call them, the vendors. All right, when we doing business with these vendors and stuff, right? All the bills that they send you, they supposed to sign the bills. When you get a bill in the mail, if it's unsigned, you can send it back for lack of endorsement. All right, because they supposed to give insurance on the bill. If they're not signing it, then the bill has no insurance. They're not being liable for the bill that they sending you. All right, they have to give their insurance saying that everything is accurate and everything is legit. So they supposed to sign the bill. If they fail to sign the bill, you send the bill back for lack of endorsement, and you tell them to send the bill back to you with the proper endorsement for acceptance. That's how you do that. That's how you do that. I shared some stuff on my Facebook page. If you go and check it out, I put some information on there pertaining to what I just said for you to read, dealing with the bills and how they supposed to be endorsing all this stuff for us, man. And they basically getting off on our ignorance, man. They've been getting off on us for so long, but I've been getting so much remedy, man. You know what I'm saying? Just from reading, everybody say don't read the statutes, but shit, that's how I've been getting by. I've been reading and finding stuff they supposed to be doing that they ain't doing. And I'm reading what I got the right to do if they don't do what they supposed to do. And that's what's been happening. I see what they ain't doing. And what according to what the code saying, then I do what the code tell me to do. And I get remedy. And people saying you ain't supposed to do that. But I don't know why. I don't know why you ain't supposed to be doing it. How else you gonna know what the rules are? If you in the state and the state got rules, they got rules to creditors, they got rules for the UCC, they got rules for everything. Everything that we doing, the state got it outlined in they codes and they procedures codified. What it is people don't want to read the code because it's complex and people don't want to do all that research to find the answers that they looking for. So they come up with all these damn excuses. That's what that is. It's people making excuses to justify their lack of being able to do what they supposed to be doing. But yeah, man, I'm finna go then if ain't nobody else got any more questions that they want to ask. And brother Rodney Blackman Bay, man, I'm gonna be getting at you. Hey, what's up, bro? What's up, Wody? Man, I see you doing your thing, man. Man, I see you, man. Hey, keep pushing, man. Push, man. Hey, I'm happy to see you out here doing your thing, man. You a beast too, boy, with that with them lyrics, man. Man, I already knew when you came home they all havoc was gonna break loose, man. I already knew it, boy. You out here doing your thing too, boy. I love to see people, man, that was incarcerated with me, or we did time in between in the highways and the byways, and then I see brothers out here doing their thing, man, making a way for themselves, doing something constructive and positive with their lives, man, besides going back to what we used to do, you know what I'm saying? So, man, I wanna definitely give you honors, man, because I see you doing your work, man, and I'm gonna have to get some of them albums and stuff you got, bro. You got some hits. What's up, Jay? I see you tuned in, bro. What's up, man? You got any questions you want to ask me? This right here is open up for questions and answers. If you got anything you want to know concerning anything that I be going over, you can ask me right now, and I give you an answer to the best of my ability. But if not, man, we can save it for later. And I want to let you know too that anybody dealing with like child support, dealing with garnishments, IRS issues where they garnishing your checks and stuff like that. If you need some help, some assistance on how to deal with that situation, just hit me up, and we can definitely put some things into motion. Believe me, this stuff a lot easier than what you think. Just take your time, do some research, stay focused, keep your head to the sky, man. And by all means, man, make your words be your bond, man. I'm out of here. Peace.